Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Moose Preparedness. I am Moose. Oh my gosh! Panic! Freak out! Ah! Holy crap. Yeah, I know. I'm probably getting yelled at by YouTube for saying naughty words 20 seconds into my thing, right? So, it is Election Day in the United States of America. And like many others, I've noticed, and maybe you have too, that it seems like everybody is kind of waiting, holding their breath. Kind of, what's going on? What's going to happen? Like, Iran's promising a strike in Israel. Gotta freak out about that. You know, yesterday I saw in the news that Putin's potentially using chemical weapons to gas out Ukrainian troops that hasn't been seen since World War I, violation of the, chemical weapons treaty, I think, of 93. Natural storms, natural disasters. Holy cow. There's a lot to get your dopamine going, huh? If Trump wins, there's going to be anarchy, chaos. He's going to kill us and deport us and send us off into camps. If Kamala wins, she's going to take all our guns and socialism. The country's dead. Wah! Slow down. Holy dog balls. Look, I am just as susceptible to it as you. I have an incredibly good friend who's part of my, let's just say the inner friends and family circle. He's part of the friends and family plan, kind of like the AT&T used to do, or Verizon used to do. One of those people. Which, by the way, you need to get people like him and his family. He's probably going to watch this, so if you see it, you know who you are, bud. But when we lost power during Hurricane Helene and we couldn't get any messages out, we have a rule: if we don't get contact within 3 days of that person, regardless of what we got going on, we take some time and we go check out, make sure that they're okay. That's the kind of friends you need. But I digress. Today's going to be a squirrel kind of day. So, all of the stuff going on, it's overwhelming, isn't it? I am just as susceptible to it as you are. I was texting, as I said, my friend last night, about 10 o'clock at night. I'm laying in bed. I'm like, bro, WTF, mate? Like, what's going on? How do you see this going? And he reminded me that, this has happened before. We've had elections before. Do I think that they are definitely more contentious now than I remember them growing up? Like, I remember the hanging chads. I remember, the Clinton ones. I remember all these other ones. I remember H.W. Bush's run. I remember some of those. I don't remember it being this contentious. It got bad right around the Bush Gore years, and then after that, it's just been every 4 years. It's a dopamine hit of, oh my God, did you see what about this? Gotta get hyperventilated about it. And look for that confirmation bias from only the news sources that I like and discredit everything else. I mean, I love my parents to death, but they are fantastic at never turning off their particular news choice. And I remember when we first got cable television. Don't worry, I promise. Super squirrel, but I promise I'm going to do like Trump. It's all in the weave. Going back to the weave. I remember when we first got cable news, and Fox News was kind of a startup at the time. Like, they'd always been around, but they didn't have a cable channel. They were competing with CNN. And every freaking 30 seconds it was, and a Fox News alert. Ding, ding. Breaking news. Ding, ding. Holy crap. It's like Pavlov's dog. I really need to take a timer next time I have cable television or I'm around it, in time, how quickly in between the breaking news on each individual's channel is. I would bet it's keyed to be a certain number of minutes in order to keep your attention span, in order to keep you freaking out, because guess what? Fear is a motivator to make you stay and watch and do things more. Political divisiveness is a motivator to make you stay and continue to use that platform. Why do you think that you see all of this crap on name your social media platform? That's some of it's an echo chamber, some of it is you might get some outside views, mostly not. But they know if they send out the most salacious, horrendous, the world is ending. Did you see what this mother effer did? Oh my God. Oh, what do I do? It keeps you engaged. And you're more likely to stay on the platform. And then you start getting in useless social media Twitter fights or X fights. I don't know what they call them anymore. Tweet fights. You get Facebook fights, which keeps you engaged. And then it's like, oh, look, somebody liked my stuff. Well, see, I'm right. I told you I was right. It's slow your roll. Okay? I have a preference on who I would like to see win the election. I told you that I will try and be as nonpartisan on this channel because of the fact of where I work. So my day job, I work for the government. I don't particularly trust the government. But the one thing I do know is that if I say the right thing to the wrong person at the right time, somebody's going to go find it. They're going to send it up to the chain of command. The chain of command says you're being disparaging of those appointed above you, and then I get into trouble. I don't desire that. I actually love doing what I do in the military. I don't want that to be ended shortly because of the fact that I have political opinions, even though the political opinions of a lot of folks in the military branches are widely known. I don't want to play that game. But you need to take a step back. I need to take a step back. I am telling you, dear viewer, friends, family, people who are just randomly looking at this and going, you need to take a step back too, because I need to do it. Because I look at it and go, okay, pick your poison, whether it was when Trump won against Hillary or when Biden won against Trump. Whichever side of the aisle that you were on in either of those elections, everybody freaked out. Oh my God, it's the end. Have things been bad on both sides? Yeah, absolutely. You could make the argument that both sides of the coin, depending on which side you were on, were bad. Have I found that inflation, am I personally doing better and spending more or spending less now than I was 4 years ago? No, I'm not. I have found that my money doesn't stretch as far by a lot. I keep pretty meticulous budgets and have for the last several years. And we've seen our expenditures go up about 20%. I think it was like 19 some odd percent on dry goods, food, fuel, that kind of stuff. So if I take it all the way back to when we started tracking in 2020, actually it was a little bit before that, but around that time frame, yeah, we're spending a lot more now. So I could say, oh crap, the world is ending if somebody gets into office that doesn't help deal with inflation, or somebody who doesn't do this or doesn't do that. There's always going to be something to freak out about. Always. And if it isn't this drama, it's that drama. It's the other drama. It's, okay, well, now that once the election stuff stops, if we actually find out who the hell gets appointed today, then we're going to start going, okay, what's the next thing to figure out and fight about? I foresee if Trump gets into office, the very first thing, if he gets selected as the nominee to the president-elect, I think the very next day it's going to be back to like what happened in 20, I don't remember, his first election. Math is hard this morning. Where it was, let's get the impeachment stuff out, let's get all that stuff out. And I do foresee there being riots. I do. I see, Seattle, Washington, D.C., and I know there was one other one. It's already prepped the National Guard for riots. Not, in my opinion, for conservative riots, if that makes sense. because those aren't exactly bastions of conservatism. Now, on the flip side, if Trump wins or Trump loses, could I see everybody starting to undermine and we start to see some maybe violence break out? Yeah, I can. But I can't change that. I can't fix that. I can stress out about it. I can worry about it, you know. But what good does that do? What can I do, right? It's that feeling of helplessness. So why are you subjecting yourself to all this dopamine hits and freaking out on stuff you really can't control? Did you vote? Awesome. You did the best you could with what you had. Go forward and try and do good things. Be the person and be the change that you want to see. You know, I had some neighbors during Helene. They are very left-leaning. And I guess they were very taken aback because I kind of approached with a more libertarian approach. I really don't give a hell. I really don't care what you do. Just leave me alone. You do you, I'll do me. Don't force your stuff on me, vice versa, and we'll call it good, right? But they were shocked to learn my political leanings. So I was, wow, you're really not these evil things that these people said. Like, that was legitimately the conversation that they had. They just said, wow, because we talked about voting, and we talked about Trump, we talked about Kamala. They were very, very left-leaning. And they're like, wow, you're sharing food with us. Like, why? Well, why not? You're good people. We're in a shitty situation. Let's take care of one another. Now, do we disagree on our views? Absolutely. But shit, I'm not going to be that person who goes, well, you know what? You voted this way, therefore you made your bed, you sleep in it. Take a step back, take a breath. If you truly think that Trump getting into office is going to cause whatever, doesn't matter. It's going to be anarchy, chaos, we're going to have Nazi rule or whatever, whatever. Well, then prepare for it. It's a lot harder to go on the bus. If you think that they're going to take you on the buses and take you to camps because that's what the Nazis did, well, cool. Then make yourself ungovernable to go on the bus. Have your own food. Have your own water. Have a way to defend yourself. So you're not relying on the system to where they go, well, if you want bread, you got to get on the bus. Likewise, you think Harris is going to win and it's going to be communism and everything, you're going to lose all your stuff. Cool. Figure it out. Same thing applies. Be prepared. And what both sides will realize is once you become more prepared and more independent of the system, you really don't care as much about the system because you can take care of yourself. And you quit needing this dopamine rush of, oh my God, did you see? What about? Like, I can't control if Israel and Iran decide to go after it. I can't. That's on them. Now, does it have ramifications for the United States? Sure as hell does. Does it have ramifications on who we vote for? I personally think that we haven't seen Iran attack anybody yet or go after Israel because we don't know who's going to win the White House. Gut feeling, personal view, not of the army, not of anybody else. I personally believe that if Trump gets elected into office, I foresee a very rapid strike by Iran. And I think if China's going to get froggy, they're going to do it before he gets in office. Because he's more of an unpredictable person than the current administration. And based on everything that I've heard from the Harris camp about continuing it, there's a likelihood that they will continue our foreign policy, which is, I don't know what. Like, I struggle with it daily because it doesn't make sense in some aspects to me. But I think that we will see things happen very quickly because as soon as he gets into office, it now becomes a liability. We don't know what the hell he's going to do. He's unpredictable. If you don't know if that person, let's be realistic, if you're a bully and you're picking on a kid and you don't know if the kid's going to strike back, you're probably not going to pick on him. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. Sorry about that. You're never finished working when you're working. So I got a phone call right in the middle of that. So to finish that thought, if you look at what I feel, having talked to some of our allies, Trump was unpredictable, made him hard to be an ally with us. However, it also made him a very tough enemy to deal with for folks like Xi Jinping, Putin, and the Ayatollahs in Iran, because of the fact he's unpredictable. You want to know what the person's going to do. So if I do X, they're going to do Y. With him, it's like he may do A, B, C, D, E, F, G because you did one thing. And that makes him both a pain in the butt to be an ally with, and is also to be great if you're an adversary because now you have no idea. So that being said, do things fill out and fall over and kind of fill in? Yeah, they do. They do. Is there going to be bleed over? Absolutely. But what can you control? If Israel and Iran start to go at it again, hardcore, yeah, the price of gasoline will probably go up. Yeah, some of our food stuff will go up. I don't think we're going to put boots on the ground with either administration, because at least that's my hope, because I don't think either administration really wants to have that on their record. Do I think that China is going to get froggy one way or the other? I think they're going to one way or the other regardless. I think they're just trying to figure out, do they do it now or do they do it later? One, I think, has the conditions set better for them to gain a position of relative advantage because they have time to prepare. The other doesn't. It forces them to make a knee-jerk reaction and then hope that the retribution of the person coming into office is not as swift or as awful as they think it is. So there's that. All the other stuff that's going on, if you feel the anxiety, you feel the pressure, you feel all the weight of the world on your shoulders because, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. I've got all these things to get that dopamine fix. Stop. Take stock of what you have. Look around and realize that you can make a difference. You can help prepare and fix yourself just a little bit to put yourself in a better position. I'm not saying go out and go buy 7 million rounds of ammunition. I'm not going out and saying, hey, you need to drain your bank account for whatever thing you need to get. But realize that our government, we'll go specifically election right now. Our government is a beautiful system of checks and balances. Now, do they always work? No. But the framers of our government did have it to where we should not have any one person wield power that would be detrimental to the success of the country overall. Will it be rough? Yeah, it'll be rough. Regardless who's in office, right? There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be good, bad, or otherwise. But our government has stood for nigh 250, 60 some odd years now. Again, math is hard. Not enough caffeine. But the awesome part is that regardless of who gets in, you still have a chance now to go take care of those things. So if you feel like you do need to shore up on your food, your water, your self-protection, your finances, your whatever, use this as your catalyst to change and make those changes, but don't use it as a reason to just get hyperventilated and hyperfixated so you can get your dopamine hit from CNN, Fox News, MSLSD, whatever your news source is, and then go rant and rave to friends and Facebook and Instagram and X and whatever else. Use it in a productive manner. I was stressed out yesterday. I crushed at the gym. I was worried about stuff this morning. After talking with my friend, as I said, I went out and rucked in the rain. Very cleansing. When you're out there, you're getting rain just pouring all over you. You're wet, you're cold, you don't want to do it, and you do it anyway. Then you realize, you know what? It was bad, but I can still do it. And that's what I want to leave you with. Stay safe out there, out here.